Alrighty, hello everyone. I'm just out for a walk in nature here. Lovely stuff. I wanted to record something talking on the topic of meditation and physical symptoms, right? Because sharing what I do about how you can use meditation to heal from your illness and your physical symptoms. The question naturally arises for many: how is something like meditation gonna kind of cure my physical symptoms? Or am I saying that your symptoms are not physical? Which I'm not, but that's how it can be interpreted, right? Like a natural response of the mind is, oh no, mind body kind of healing techniques. That's an insult actually, because it's saying that my illness is not real. But no one's saying that actually. But it's an understandable kind of response to have, so I wanted to break it down a bit today to help maybe help convince you, because a lot of healing is about releasing cynicism, skepticism, and doubt, right? Because if you're going to turn your nose up at anything that challenges your beliefs about healing, you're very much limiting your possibilities. So yeah, anything that can help to eradicate some of that doubt and cynicism can, in the long run, be very powerful. And I can relate to people like that this was the case for me. I used to turn my nose up at mind body healing techniques until I became stuck enough where I was like, you know what, I'm willing to try the things that seems to have worked for other people without going into the mind that wants to protect itself through cynicism. So let's break it down, right? How can something that seems like a mental exercise heal physical symptoms? Well, one way to look at it is to first understand the kind of important link between mind and body, that the mind being in an overstimulated, overwhelmed, constant stressed out state, it's going to affect your body's ability to heal. It's going to cause physical illness in your body. We all know this, but we draw lines. We accept it to a certain degree, but not to other degrees, right? Many people know that you can get cancer from high amounts of stress, right? That's not a out there claim to make. It's widely accepted that intense stress on your nervous system stresses out your immune system, and that's going to make you sick, right? So this was for me understanding that like I was living in a overstimulated environment and I had no idea how to give my body and my mind a break to rest. So I started with physical rest, right? This is what so many people start with when you're struggling with like chronic fatigue or long COVID or whatever it is it's like, okay, you need physical rest. But I didn't know how to just rest my mind. So you can have no physical stresses in your environment, but your mind can still activate stress in your body. And then the inverse of this is how we can activate healing in the body, right? So you could imagine a stressful situation in your mind, and that can trigger stress hormones in your body, which is like being in the stressful environment, right? So then what starts to happen is that starts to happen on autopilot, where you're so stressed about being sick 24/7, we get addicted to that stress state, and the body naturally perpetuates it. So then you need some tool, and there's nothing more powerful than working in the mind-body meditation healing space, because physical stuff might reduce some of the symptoms, but it's not going to get to the roots of your illness, which could be like a chronic stress state that the body is locked in, right? And that can lead to all sorts of physical symptoms. And this is why focusing purely on symptoms doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if person A has chronic fatigue and person B has chronic pain and person C has, I don't know, what is any of your symptoms, right? It's all coming from a similar root. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, right? You can have different trauma, you can have different stress that's affected your nervous system, but you can work with it in the same way. So then how to work with it is you need to rewire, well, 2 steps, right? You want to increase your capacity for stress, right? So this is why I talk about resilience over safety, right? So safety is helpful because you want to get your body out of this state of I'm in danger, creating hormones that make me feel like I'm in danger, leading to physical illness in the body. So safety is good, and safety starts with removing continuous stresses, right? So let me give an example from my own life. When I started getting sick first, there was a lot of stresses in my life, right? I was in a relationship that was causing more stress because it was up and down. I was doing this, I was doing that, right? So I first had to address some of those things where it was like reduce those kind of stresses. But then even then, we're so addicted to stress that I put myself in an environment where there was not a lot of physical stresses, yet I was still occupying my mind 24/7 with reading things online because we're addicted to that stimulation, and that stimulation can be linked to stress as well. So that's why, yeah, it creates safety if there's imminent stress in your environment. But I love to focus on resilience over safety because it's like you're training your nervous system, your body, that I can handle stress. I don't need to be afraid. But again, it takes practice. So then how do we increase resilience and work with stress? And I would say one technique that I've shared a lot is to stop reacting to what you're feeling in your body and fueling beliefs that these symptoms are a danger to me, and then the mind can catastrophize, right? I'm going to be sick forever. To use your symptoms as your tool for recovery is incredibly powerful, because now you're taking this thing that was kind of a negative cycle of symptom leads to stress in the mind, thoughts in the mind lead to more symptoms in the body, more symptoms in the body leads to more stress in the mind, right? It sounds pretty dire, but it's just to understand how it's working. You can fix it, and to fix it, it's a lot simpler than fixing sounds, because it starts with allowing. It starts with going towards. It starts with making friends with the things you're afraid of. This is what I did. Somebody on the other day, I saw a comment somewhere pop up on my phone asking, what does allowing mean? Right? And this is the key here, is when you notice your symptoms and the thoughts start doing this and the mind starts doing that, you want to stop and be like, what is the thing that you're most resisting in your experience? Is it a symptom? Is it a thought? It could be either, right? You could be afraid of a physical sensation in your body, and that sensation can be anything, right? It can be headache, it can be shortness of breath, it can be dizziness, right? But at the root of that is a sensation. And now you're like, okay, what if I retrain my responses? What if I sit with this? And this is why something like meditation is key, because you need to first remove external distractions so that you can actually work with your internal experience. So you want to sit and you want to feel and you want to be like, you're welcome. you can be here. And then you see what the mind does. You actually have to do this. Right? You actually have to do this, because that's when your resistance will come up. That's when the roots of this thing will come up, where it's like, but this is what I'm afraid of. I don't know what can come up. Fear can come up in your mind that, oh no, if I sit with this for too long, I'm going to die. I'm going to, all your beliefs around symptoms, all your fears around health, around healing will come up, and that's okay, right? I'm not saying you have to white knuckle your way through it. I'm saying you want to retrain your response to that, to say that's okay. If fear comes up, that's okay. Fear is welcome. You're safe. If your past traumas come up, that's okay. You're welcome. It's safe. If a thought comes up, that's okay. You're welcome. It's safe. Feel how that starts to feel in your nervous system, in your body, when you say, hey, it's okay. You can be here. I accept you. Right? What is it that's something that is being chronically outcast and isolated wants to feel? All it wants to feel is welcomed and accepted, right? So now these parts of our body, which are coming out in the forms of symptoms, we're stressing the body even more by saying, this is bad, I need to destroy it. You shouldn't exist, symptoms, you shouldn't exist, illness. But we're fighting with a part of ourselves. So to start by accepting and allowing and embracing and loving, saying, hey, you can be here, I accept you, I love you. There's enough space in my experience for the thoughts, for the fears, for the symptoms, and it can take practice. It did for me, right? At first it was challenging, but you realize you grow your capacity the more you sit and welcome and allow and kind of retrain your response. And then you become more resilient, you become capable of handling more, and then you become capable of expanding your boundaries, because now you can do something even if it triggers fear, right? Even if the mind is saying, ooh, that's too much, that's too scary. I'm not saying that you have to go force yourself into states that are clearly going to overwhelm you. But I'm saying you can start to do something that you would have been too afraid to do before. And now it becomes a positive spiral. Right? Now you do something and it brings up something and you sit with it and you feel it and you're like, hey, it's okay, I can do this. Oh, cool. Okay, I'm alive, I'm still here. Sure, things aren't perfect. And you're not going to get things 100% all the time. But you're going in a different direction, right? You're not fueling stress and fear and fixing. So, yeah. Let me know if you have any questions or any specific videos you want me to make. I have a lot of videos talking about how to try my guided meditations for a taste of what allowing is, right? I'm getting bitten by ants on my feet here. Look, I'm walking barefoot. But yeah, try my guided meditations for a taste of allowing. That's what I try to get across in a lot of them, is to break you free from the need to control and manage and give you a taste of what is it like to just let go and allow. But yeah, let me know if there's any topics that you want me to talk about specifically. My aim with this channel is to try to help people as much as I can, right? So I often have ideas on my side, but it's nice to hear what is going to reach the most people. So let me know. It's getting a bit rocky here. And then one last thing I'll add to this video is, shifting environments is powerful. So if you're feeling horrible, look at how your environment is contributing to that, right? Like for me, staring at a laptop 24/7 didn't feel good. You could tell yourself, I'm at home, I'm resting, but you're stimulating your mind in not a good way. But it's actually something that seems more overwhelming, like going for a walk in nature, can sound like it's going to be too much. But if you actually just drive somewhere, you get out, you go for a walk, the environment affects your nervous system, which affects your mind state, which can affect everything. So leverage these things, right? And then you're walking in the environment, and then you start to say, how can I look for things that are going to shift my state? Again, always focus on the fact that you can shift your state. It's the same as what I was saying earlier. If you're sitting with the symptoms are there, but you have a choice in how do I want to respond to it. I can shift my state by saying, yes, you're allowed. Yes, I love you. Yes, I accept you. Yes, I'm grateful that you're here. Yes, more symptoms. That's what I would do. I retrained my mind that every time I got symptoms, I was like, yes, this is what I need to heal. Symptoms, that's good. That's how I retrain my brain, is with symptoms. So you go out on a walk and you're like, wow, I'm alive, I'm in nature, there's wind on my face, there's sun on my head, or it's grey and you're like, oh, it's nice and cold, I can feel the crispness of being alive. That's different from being like, oh, fuck, it's too hot, oh, it's too cold, oh, it's too windy. You always have a choice. And sure, you might not be able to choose exactly what you're feeling currently in your experience, but you can choose how to respond to it, and from there, that can shift things in the long run. So start small, little steps make a difference. Don't get despondent because you said once for 5 minutes that your symptoms can be here, and then the next day they weren't all gone forever. But small steps make a difference. It compounds. You're retraining your neural pathways, and the more you feed that, the more it will. It's like anything. The more you ride your bicycle, the more unconsciously you ride your bicycle. The more you train a different perspective, the more accessible that perspective of gratitude and allowance is. Okay, I'm going to carry on my walk. Good luck on your healing path. I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you soon.